We're back. We are so back. You like that recycled bit right there? You're welcome. You're welcome. Your favorite Temu knockoff Chia Pet had one of their recent videos reacted to by Nux Taku. It was on their second account called Nuxanor. They're really big. I've never really had my videos like reacted to in like a whole ass video, at least not to my knowledge. And I learned by finding that out that apparently this person does not have a good history, Mr. Nux Taku. And so last Sunday, I did this super cool live show with Cam Nuggets called Quinn Nugget. I know, super creative. Come join next Sunday, probably. And while we were on that, we discussed it and we watched this video and basically talked about what I want to talk about today. What is the situation I'm referring to? A situation so big that Hasan, of all people, has commented on it. This happens to involve by happenstance, that's redundant, Oompaville, Mutahar, and Nux Taku. TLDR, Nux Taku has a main channel where he would make this like kind of shock content as he described. And in some of those videos, what they had done is had other big content creators react to hentai. Don't worry, that one was on purpose. That was not an underfed. That was, I know what I'm saying. But they'd watch this hentai and react to it and make fun of it and call it cringe and all that. Now there's already issues with that personally, but in conjunction with those videos, Nux had also made some very scandalous thumbnails. And coming from me and a lot of people, because this had happened years ago, in these videos, more specifically what we're talking about is the fact that Mutahar and Oompaville, but mainly Mutahar at this point, had reacted to that content and was in the videos. And it looks really bad because it also looks like they're reacting to, say it with me, lollipop corn. I think you get it. But they reacted to this content and that has recently resurfaced because it looks really bad. And they even make points like Mutahar at one point saying that these individuals in this hentai look a bit young, which is not great. So naturally, me and my boy Cam Nuggets were discussing this on the live and it just looked really bad. Now, amidst all of this, Mutahar has kind of like gone back and forth. Some people perceive it as just distancing himself from Nux Taku. Some people have viewed it as backstabbing him. It really depends on which side of the aisle you're on. And for the last week that I had heard about information, I just thought at the bare minimum, it was weird. Now, during all this, Mutahar actually dropped a video like addressing everything and it was called Post-Nux Clarity, which is insane and an absolute banger title. But he deleted that video pretty quickly, not quickly enough that people didn't immediately download and copy it. And it's been posted a few times now and has been deleted each time, almost each time. I do still have a copy of it that is on an unlisted link. Editor Connor here wearing the skin of past Connor, recording this because he forgot to make a transition here. We're now going to be talking about a video that I was not just talking about, one that pretty much compiled a bunch of the clips that I had been talking about earlier with Mutahar and Nux and all of them watching this hentai together.
But what if I told you that his memes awakens the latent powers of women? They're in like an RPG dimension.
Oh, that explains it. This is a gamer's fantasy, right?
Hell yeah.
She literally is about to cast a heal spell with memes on her face. What the
No, not just with it on her face. As I told you,
she's gonna eat it.
Rules of handling your younger sisters.
What the
These are the 4 younger sisters.
Oh. Bro, they're fucking exceptionally young. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, those are probably like the worst moments for me, is just like the fact that they were recognizing that whatever they were looking at was exceptionally young. Obviously the footage there is blurred already. As you can see here, this is the video that we were just looking at. I showed YouTubers the most cultured clips, and that's where you see Mutahar and Oompaville. So I just went ahead and looked at the video that Nux had posted and saw what was censored, like the 4 young girls. They are fully clothed, but having these content creators react to it, that being quite Oompa and Mutahar, Caleb reiterates the fact that, and like confirms, and he goes, this is a hentai? So I think regardless of the fact that they're fully clothed, I still think it's weird, but I did want to give you guys some additional context because it wasn't like they were just blatantly showing little kids completely exposed. These clips resurfaced, I'm assuming because of, you know, like Oompaville having that interview with Mr. Beast. I don't know, it just seemed that was kind of the group around this time that ended up, you know, getting put on blast with all this stuff coming out. And I believe Mutahar had an interview with a gentleman by the name of Chud Logic on YouTube, and he said a few things in this interview in regards to the points that were being made, that he was watching like lollipop corn with Nux and Caleb, and that was YouTube content. And he had some weird responses, which I'm gonna play for you now.
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there, we're like, me and Caleb, we were just like, this is I don't know, it's weird. We haven't done like a full background look onto what his content is or anything. Obviously, I was on a few collaborations with him when he was doing like fucking memes and like the game shows with like 15 fucking creators, and that's pretty much the extent of my collaborations.
You probably shouldn't be showing, you know, porn like that on a website where, I know it's censored or whatever, but even censored stuff, like you probably shouldn't be showing that consistently to a website full of minors in the context of like, haha, funny joke, and then, you know, who knows what they get into as a result of that. That's basically my takeaway.
Wait, you showed
So, yeah.
porn in those videos?
I mean, Nux's whole thing on YouTube is like porn reactions, right?
So that's our first confusing point, that Mutahar, and you can even see Chud kind of start like giggling. Now this is a strange thing to pose, like to ask, wait, he was showing popcorn? Like he was showing that on his videos? Because you should be well aware of the videos that you're a part of, and it doesn't make sense that he'd have you reacting, ask you for the footage of like your webcam and stuff to make a video if you weren't reacting to it for the video. Maybe Muta is like clarifying that the actual content itself was being shown without like any sort of censorship, or was just, you know, being talked about. Even then, I still don't think it makes sense that you'd be asking that question. It just comes off really disingenuous, like you're trying to distance yourself from the situation. But on top of that, and this kind of ties into some of the comments that he's made about not knowing that this was, you know, lollipop or anything like that. In the video that we're combing over, he literally mentions and like references the fact that this seems to be lolly.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah, this is, dude, YouTube, you're really fucking, you know, lowly unfriendly lately, dude. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Now, Muta uploaded and deleted an apology video spanning 38 minutes in the span of like, I don't know, a couple hours, but thankfully it was hyperlinked multiple times. So I'm going to include some clips of it here, showcasing a bit of, you know, what is confusing about this. Something I should also note is that within this 24-hour period, Mutahar disavowed Nux and completely separated and distanced himself from Nux. And then apparently, from Nux's own words on stream, reached back out to Nux after all this happened, after they had made a public community post saying that they were distancing themselves from Nux, to call him and apologize for everything that he said. I'm gonna be honest, for the life of me, I have no idea why this man is flip-flopping so hard back and forth, but I am gonna do my best to just show you a small little timeline of events and give you a little bit of info, because this has been very confusing. To tie into this kind of like back and forth, like just not being truthful, or I should just say coming off very disingenuous, he posts on Reddit, responding to some of the posts on r/YouTube drama, like the one here of resurfaced video of Oompaville, some ordinary gamers, and Nux Taku watching Lollipop together on Discord call. Mutahar responded to it saying, can't speak for Caleb, but from what I remember regarding stuff like this is stuff from Nux showing us hinte for his competitions, and usually in this, they are around multiple creators. No defense here, I'm not knowledgeable on anything anime, and I blindly assumed someone we collaborated at the time showed us hinte and nothing illegal. Since this appears to now come from something more sinister, I apologize for what I said in this, and I'm livid at Nux, who is quite against this kind of material in both public and private conversations with us. Whatever he showed us at the time, I had believed would just fall under a legal hente banner in Canada and the US, and assumed poorly that all of it would just be legal, and after filming, just go on with my day. He then replies to someone asking about their friendship with Nux, and Mutahar says, in regard to if he's going to continue his friendship with Nux, says, no, if he's showing things under a false pretension, then I have no reason to continue the relationship. Now, this point that he's making about not being knowledgeable at all on anything anime is a bit confusing. A gentleman that goes by the name Smaggledaggle made a post talking about, in the response here, no defense here, I'm not knowledgeable on anything anime, and this is directly a stream that Muta had where he talks about his favorite hente, which, if you go off of the replies that were done, because, you know, they don't outright say it here, apparently, allegedly, I don't know, I can't confirm this, but multiple people were saying that what he had said was a show that was, this hente in particular, depicted high schoolers. This is directly in contradiction to what Muta had been talking about in regard to what he disavowed himself, that being anything that's in high school, because something related to the setting of a high school could have minors in it. So next up in this really shitty timeline, we have Mutahar making the video that he did, this 38-minute apology video. We're gonna get into it, but I wanna go over the fact that immediately after this, he deletes it and then makes a community post, which he then deleted. He says, removed the Nux video. While I can't be a friend to Nux with some of the questionable things in that have surfaced, I still apologize for the collaborations I took place in and don't aim to repeat those same mistakes. I'm sorry. I need to correct myself. I don't believe he deleted it, or if he did, he made this post but then edited it, although it's possible that that first one was just edited into this. But he says, regarding the last video about Nux, while I can't be a friend after some of the recent things that surfaced, I do feel I did do an overreaction that stemmed from being emotional on the reaction from the community on Reddit. I've been watching my content for the past few weeks. I have realized my channel has slipped into a slop channel. I have made more drama-related content over the last several months than I have fun, engaging, and informative content. That includes producing videos that don't release daily. I need to take more time and release content a couple times a week that stands in quality and not quantity. I don't do this for a job, so honestly going out of my way to constantly chase trends has done nothing beneficial for me other than alienate my most hardcore fans. I need to take a few days off and reset and produce better content that isn't the latest trends or internet drama. While that produces a good view count, it's not the kind of content I want to be known for. I'll be back with content that I'm proud of. In regards to past collaborations, all I can do is apologize and promise to do better. Now he does all this flip-flopping. And then I'm just gonna play the intro to the video that he deleted.
Guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today we've got a pretty serious video to make. Throughout my career, you know, people make mistakes and there's accountability to be taken, and I am not shy to taking real accountability to actual mistakes. Now, the thing about this is, obviously, I can upload these kind of videos onto secondary platforms, but I really think for full effect, I should always upload to the main platform and really talk to you guys in a full level-headed way.
This video, even just based off the intro, comes off pretty disingenuous. I have a very hard time reading what Mutahar's thoughts or decision making is here, why he's doing what he's doing. It feels like he keeps shifting the blame, and at first it was all Nux's fault, he's cut ties with him, but he allegedly apologized to Nux today over a phone call. It's confusing and none of it's adding up, and there is no consistency with the arguments that he's making versus, the actions or decisions that he's made over the last couple of years. Naturally, people can change, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make this argument that people don't change, but it's very weird and it's not making sense and it comes off very irrational. And the fact that he's like, I'm trying to be level-headed here, doesn't really match up with how he's been behaving, like deleting the video, re-editing the community post, going back and forth about being friends with Nux. I'll let you guys come to your own conclusions, but here's the video.
My side of the perspective, and again, take accountability where accountability needs to be fucking taken. Now, I've got a pretty hardcore stance against things like lolly, and obviously I don't want to be contributing to watching that kind of content or normalizing it in any fashion. So in this situation, obviously I looked at some of these clips and I want to explain what's happening and completely condemn it too, because as somebody that is 1000% against this kind of stuff, I don't want to be, again, normalizing it in any capacity. But to go back to it, Nux Taku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship, and I really can't, again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content as well.
Keep in mind, we're going to be showing stuff that indicates that that is not directly a true statement.
So obviously in this clip, or in this video, there is a pretty big clip of me, Nux Taku, and Quite, and Caleb basically watching and reviewing hentai together. Now, while all three of us were present in this video, this is a section from me, right? When I was working with Nux, a lot of the things we did talk about was being anti-loli in that situation, and Nux very much made it clear to me that he was anti this stuff as well too, and he still maintains it to this day. But the kind of stuff that he showed us was anime ni summer. Now, inside the video, inside Nux's presentation, it kind of came off as just a cursed little hentai, and the reality of it is I never really watched his collaboration, but if you take the name that ni summer has had and put it into my anime list, which I realistically should have done at the time, you can see the synopsis is Yuta Yamayuchi is a average high school student, right? So right there, I'm not going to play the whole semantics, oh, is this really loli game? I don't even care if somebody is 18 or on the cusp of turning 19. At the end of the day, high school can very much involve a minor.
So yeah, to discuss your favorite hentai being high school students and then to make this stance is pretty crazy, because Muta's making the claim that they were against this even back then. He's describing about this and talking about it in conjunction with we always talked about how we were anti, not okay with that. But in that time frame, at around the same time, I think it was a year maybe of difference, he does that stream and talks about his favorite being this one that involved high schoolers. So which is it? You can make your opinion whether I agree with it or not, but just staying consistent is much more of the important part, because when you don't stay consistent, you gotta explain it. You gotta prove that your mind has changed. You like, it's not adding up and it feels weird. So Mutahar makes some points about some previous drama with Nux, people disliking some of the stuff he had done. And then on top of that, talking about why their podcast ended and how that isn't relevant to the stuff that's coming out right now. I don't think it's crazy relevant to what's going on. But after all of this, a day goes by and then Nux goes live and addressed Mutahar and all that. Now there's actually 2 clips from Nux that I want to cover. The first clip I'm showing you is from Nux talking about the fact that he got a call from Muta and basically saying that he apologized to Nux.
Muta deleted his video, posted a community post, and then called me. And apologized. Basically, the TLDR is people bullied Muta into making a hit piece on me, and it backfired like super big time, like super mega fucking big time. I mean, sort of backfired. Dude, I got some pretty fucked up DMs.
So apparently Muta felt bullied into making a hit piece against Nux because people on Reddit didn't agree with him and thought what he did was bad. Realistically speaking, it just doesn't seem like half of this would have happened if he just didn't interact with this, if he just didn't look at these subreddits and seen like a couple, like, I don't know, 10, 15 people saying something like this. Like, what really bothers me about it is if he truly believed that what the people were saying about him was true, and he truly believed what he was saying, being that it was absolutely reprehensible, it only makes sense that if he was being honest and upfront with the people he was talking about, saying that he's not gonna be friends with Nux, that he wouldn't turn around and apologize to him and say he was bullied into making a hit piece. That doesn't track in any way. But the last thing that I wanted to show actually came from Nux himself on his secondary channel, Nuxanor. He reacts to and defends Mutahar in light of Hasan, of all people, hopping in and saying that Muta was watching CP.
There are literal neo-Nazis on YouTube. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's relevant.
Apparently, some of them even, maybe not neo-Nazis, but...
He almost called me a neo-Nazi there, by the way. He got close. He got close. He can't call another Jewish guy a neo-Nazi. That would have gone too far.
Some YouTubers even sit around and do reviews of child porn, drawn child porn, hentai, lolicon. That's how little YouTube gives a shit about their own terms of service.
Aha.
You know, Mutahar should know that. Seemingly, he participated in a review of lolicon himself.
Yeah, so it wasn't a review of lolicon. That's obviously bad faith. Probably one of the most bad faith ways to twist what actually happened I've ever heard. Now, I have said in the past, and I'll say it again, I do regret making a lot of those old videos. I have literally always been against the lolly shit. I made old videos where I found, like, fucking crazy hentai, and I showed them to people for shock value. These hentai videos are on YouTube also, and I reacted to a YouTube video, being like, this is crazy that this came out of Japan and is literally on YouTube. So, anyway... It was a little wild. I invited a lot of people to the call. Obviously, no one thought it was weird. People had eyeballs. I mean, everyone thought that the content was weird, but the content that I was making was showing cringe shit to people. Now, Mutahar is going to be making a video about this because this guy basically implied that Muta's a pedo. A lot of people are taking that narrative and calling him a pedo. That's fucking awful. It's disgusting and despicable shit. To call that guy a pedophile for, like, dude, we got together and shat on cringe content. I already stated, I have distanced myself from all that because ever since getting into the commentary sphere on YouTube, I absolutely recognize the fact that children are vulnerable online. And I definitely, 100%, am trying now to stay away from all that shit. Because I don't want kids to end up getting into trouble because of content that I'm making or thumbnails that I used to do. And I have stopped making those thumbnails and doing that content for a while. Even that said and done, that content in itself was definitely not pro-child porn. It was not pro-lolly shit, which is not child porn, even though I think it's still weird as fuck. That all said and done, I've distanced myself from it for a while. A lot of people knew that this was going on. It was not like some big secret, but the way that Hasan frames it as like, there was this big secret cabal of YouTubers watching child porn, like that is very disingenuous, like insanely disingenuous. And again, I fully respect anyone that doesn't want to associate with me because of that and they don't want to get smeared. No one deserves to be called a pedophile because they're friends with me.
Obviously, this came out even before Muta had apologized to Nux, and I'm almost led to believe that this might have been a good reason why he apologized to him. But I wanted to include it because this is kind of like the first context that I heard from Nux talking about his side of things and the fact that he's distanced himself from the content he was making, recognizing that, you know, there are children on this platform, and by doing that, you're just making it easier for them to get a hold of stuff that they shouldn't have a hold of. Now, I don't think that this, you know, just absolves somebody of the mistakes they've made. I think it truly is just, you know, lead by your actions. And there's a lot of like back and forth about what Nux has made in the past. I know he just recently privated some videos. You can take that as, you know, recognizing that what they did was screwed up and choosing to, or just recognizing for optics that it's not worth the drama. I'm leaving it up to you guys. I'm not gonna act like I know his content or have been there to chronicle it. I just really found out about this guy between his like drama with like Jaden Animations and like including himself in the thumbnails and him reacting to one of my videos. I don't know more than that. I'm not gonna act like I do. This entire thing has been an absolute mess, and trying to understand all of it, for me, like most of this is centered around Muta and how he's been reacting to the hate and the responses that he's made, and then the repeated over and over flip-flop between, you know, cutting people off and then apologizing to them behind the scenes, going back and forth. It's not making sense. It just feels like he is struggling to like find a way to deal with damage control, but he's already responded to the criticism and he's already let it control his decision making. If we're even able to take his word, he said he was bullied into making a hit piece. That is making the case that if Muta believes that the people that watch him or people online don't like what he's doing, that he is willing to bend the knee and do something in bad faith, make a video that is condemning someone that he doesn't actually fully believe should be condemned. Because if he actually believed they would, he wouldn't turn around and go and apologize to them. At least that's just a theory. A YouTube theory. Thanks for what? No, but for real, I don't really know. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. I've watched Mutahar off and on for years. I don't really, I guess, know his history like that either. All this stuff has just been from what I've been able to glean from Reddit and Twitter, you know, the trenches. So let me know what you guys think. This one's weird. Also, if you become a member, we now have members only on the Discord, which is super cool. It's only 99 cents to become a member, but regardless of the membership, the Discord is still just a public thing that anyone can join. So feel free to, I'll put links down in the comments, but that's all I had for you today. This has been an absolute fuster cluck, but I'll see you guys later. Adios. Bye.